Hey, what's up DIYers? Mike Boards with the Mike Boards channel. Thank you for watching. We're talking weather stripping on doors today. We are going to remove our old weather stripping and install brand new. Let's get started. All right, DIYers, at the Crescent workstation now, and just to the left of that is our walkout basement, double doors. And again, we are going to replace the weather stripping all around those two doors. Coming to the workbench, and DIYers, we have been busy. We just rebuilt an Alpha 1 Gen 1 Mercruiser outdrive. All brand new parts. In addition, we are in the middle of a project. We are building skateboards. We are repainting the trucks, and those ones are going to be key lime pie green. And we've got orange trucks. And the orange trucks are going to go on our whiteboard. The key lime are going to go on our blackboard. Check that out. In the event that you want step-by-step guidance on how to mount skateboards on the wall, as well as build your own skateboards and apply new grip tape, definitely check out the links down below in the comment section as well as the description section. However, the reason why we are replacing our weather stripping is because we've got a cold air draft right here, and we just actually filmed a video on how to remove ladybugs, and we had hundreds and hundreds of ladybugs getting in that little gap right there. Now to a close-up of the door, I definitely need to clean my door, and you can see some visible light. If I apply pressure to the door, that light goes away. Then I release the pressure on the door, that light comes back. So DIYers, as you can see, that weather stripping is no longer creating the airtight or weather-tight seal, and it must be replaced. And as you see that, two really big concerns. Number one, again, it allows bugs to get inside the house. However, the second issue is it allows cold air into the house during the winter months, and that's not good. It also allows cold air from the AC units to sneak out of the house during the summer, and that's definitely not efficient at all. That's a lot of waste of money. With the door open, as you can see, our weather stripping goes the entire way up on top, and it makes its way all the way down the opposite side. And again, we are going to replace all of that. Also down below in the comment section as well as the description section is a link to a video on seeing what we did to remove the ladybugs. However, I'm going to reposition the camera. We are going to start by removing this portion right here. And as you can see, there's maybe a 1/4 inch gap in between the bottom portion of the weather seal and the frame itself. And if you can't grab it by hand, grab yourself some pliers and get a good grip of the weather stripping itself. Because if you don't get a good grip prior to pulling this weather stripping out, you can actually rip it. And I guess that's not that big of a deal because you are replacing it. However, once you get it started, set the pliers aside, use your hand, and as you can see, that little rubber portion sneaks into the seam of the frame and grabs a hold of the back side of the wood or trim to help it properly seat itself and stay in place. And again, all I'm going to do is pull this weather stripping out of that gap. Change your camera angles, and again, all I'm going to do is pull that weather stripping out of the seam. And no need to yank it, just go slow. As you can see, once you get it going, it comes out in a pretty friendly manner. You may have spots along your trim that it's a bit stubborn, but overall, it's coming out nicely. And as you can see, once I separate it from the upper corner, the upper stripping goes from the face portion of the trim all the way to the other side. So when it comes time to reinstall the new weather stripping, we are going to cut this accordingly to again allow the upper weather stripping to go the whole length of the opening. Back inside, I have the new weather stripping, and I bought 3 total. You can see the 2 on top, and then what I did was added a third one, which again is brand new, right up against the old one. And you will need to make some cuts. You can see the old one on the bottom and the new one on top. And the way I'm going to install this is I will start at the top and then make my cuts at the bottom portion. Coming back to the door trim, do your best to clean any and all trim of cobwebs, debris. I've got some canned air I'm just going to spray. And then I'll use a rag to clean everything else. Back inside, DIYers, I want to show you the difference from the old weather stripping and the brand new weather stripping. As you can see, the new one on the left hand side has a much newer and thicker inner foam portion to it. As you can see, over time on the right hand side, the old weather stripping degraded and basically failed. Back to the door frame, I did my best to clean up any and all debris, and really there's only one way to do this. As you can see, here's how I have it positioned. And I'm going to carefully just kind of push it in to the seam and push it up flush with the top portion. And from here, the rubber grip portion will tuck deep inside the trim, and all you have to do is push it in with your thumb as shown here, flush with the back trim, as well as using your other 4 fingers to guide it in and allow it to lock in place in the inner portion, again, of your trim. And that's nice, and you go the whole distance, again, all the way down. Check that out. That was cool. Formation flight. And again, DIYers, ensure that you are pushing it all the way flush with your thumb to this portion of the trim and using your other 4 fingers to push it inward behind this trim. And you'll do that the whole way down. And then we'll make our cut at the very bottom. At this point, I've made my way all the way down to the bottom portion of the opening, and we are going to begin cutting. And I'm just using a small pair of scissors. And DIYers, very important step. Make small cuts rather than large cuts, because the last thing you want to do is cut too much and have to head back to the hardware store to purchase a brand new weather strip. So again, I'll probably go in 1-inch increments. And we'll see if that works. And I am just a tiny bit too long, maybe another 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch first. And let's see if that works. Tuck it in, and that might be perfect. Absolutely. And again, really push that in to the back side or seam of your trim. To a close-up, and I carefully used the scissors to press the bottom portion of the weather stripping in between this seam here and the wood trim, and that worked out perfectly. Again, do not overcut it, because you will have to go back to the hardware store for a brand new strip. That's not what you want. If I remember correctly, these are about $7 a strip, so keep that extra $7 in your pocket for something more enjoyable or meaningful. Coming back up top, and one good last press the whole way down. All right, DIYers, I have the doors wide open at this point. We are going to go up top and remove the upper weather stripping. Sun is starting to poke out of the overcast skies. To the top corner, and again, grab your pliers, and once you get it removed from the trim, set the pliers down and remove the rest by hand. And again, it is the exact same thing as the side weather stripping that we just removed. As you can see right there, just carefully pull it out of the seam. You can see it is damaged in that location. That's the center portion. You can see the strip here. And some friendly cleaning. And again, DIYers, as you can see, same thing in comparison with the old and the new. The old is just crumbling and degraded compared to the new. Back to the door trim, and you've got a rubber piece here that helps in the corner. And again, just carefully shift the rubber grips into the seam and really push it flush with that rubber piece. Give it some friendly inward pressure, again, to seat that. You do not want any gaps. And again, DIYers, really get that weather stripping in place. And again, just like the side, properly seat those rubber grips inside the seam and use your thumb and fingers to work together. As shown here, push up and in simultaneously to, again, properly seat that weather stripping in the seam. way down to the opposite side, and then we'll make our cut. To the opposite side of the upper portion, and as you can see, with the new weather stripping installed, we have a lot more left over, and that is normal. We'll make our cut. Again, start small, and if you have to, make several cuts to ensure that you've got the perfect length. Do not overcut it. Taking a step back, and the top weather stripping is installed. And again, make your cuts perfectly. And I want to come to the workbench, and we cut off exactly 8.5 inches. And there is the brand of weather stripping we purchased. Now it's time to remove this weather stripping. Taking a step back, and that third weather stripping or strip has been removed, and I cleaned up the dirt and debris, and I'll follow the exact same steps as I did in the previous 2 strips and install the third one. DIYers, we're all done. The last thing I recommend doing prior to closing your doors, apply some friendly pressure along the entire length of all these strips that you just installed. Be careful, you do not want to give yourself weather stripping burn or rug burn. Again, just to ensure that all portions of the weather stripping are properly seated in the seam. And after you do that, carefully close your doors, and the weather stripping will get to work. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. A tighter secured seal compared to the old weather stripping. We've got both of our doors closed, a lot quieter. And DIYers, as you can see, there is no signs of light through the new weather stripping. And again, that's going to keep the bugs and weather out of the home, as well as keep the warm air from the heater or furnace inside the home, or the cold AC air from the AC unit inside the home. Save some money. Feeding off the center portion of the door, I also recommend checking the corners. As you can see here, again, no visible light coming through, as well as go all the way down to the very bottom and check for any visible signs of light seeping through the weather stripping. In our case, all looks good. We're outside now, and the new weather stripping really fills that gap between the door and the exterior trim much better. Huge upgrade. Huge upgrade. And the old weather stripping, as you see here, is basically junk. I will cut that into maybe 3 pieces or 4 pieces to allow it to fit inside the garbage can in a friendlier manner. DIYers, again, we hope the video helped. And definitely check out those links down below in the comment section, as well as the description section. From here, do us a favor, below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely ring your YouTube bell. That would be very helpful to us. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching.